What's up, y'all? This is Chitty Bang, and I'm on the Renegade Millionaire Show, the podcast that profiles entrepreneurs, founders, and CEOs. Join us as we go one-on-one inside the hearts and minds of some of our generation's best and brightest. And now, introducing your host, my friend, Sun Group Wealth Partners Managing Director, CNBC and Forbes.com contributor, Winnie Sun.
Hi there, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to the Renegade Millionaire Show. It's your host, Winnie Sun. Thanks for tuning in once again. We are coming to you from beautiful Los Angeles here in TuneIn Studios, and it's a really special day today because I not only have my sidekick, Susie Day, with me, but I have my very, very good friend, Mai Tran, who is CEO of Mai Couture with us. Thank you, Mai, for being here and making us look good on the radio. Love having them here. And for those of you who may not know, I'm really active on Twitter. So if you have a chance, feel free to follow me there. I am Managing Director and Financial Advisor at Sun Group Wealth Partners. You may have seen me on CNBC, read my posts on Forbes. But if you haven't, please bookmark the show and check me out at winniesun.com so we can talk. I'm really excited about today, as you know, because there is something that I love to do. And maybe many of you might like to do, and that's eat. Do you like to eat? I don't know about you, but it seems like my favorite pastime these days because don't get to do much more but meet clients, do shows like this, and eat. So I don't know. One of my guilty pleasures is watching a show called Top Chef. And if you heard these shows before, you know how excited I am to meet these young chefs. I say young because they just seem to get younger and more talented. But today's guest is a guest by the name of Mei Lin, who, if any of you have watched Top Chef, knows she is one powerhouse in a tiny little package, I should say. And she's sitting right next to me here, but let me kind of tell you a statistic. I just wanted you to get a feel just how unique she is. There's certainly no shortage of women in the hospitality industry, and namely restaurant industry. But did you know that even though there are so many of them, that they still make up actually a very small percentage of executive chefs? A lot of them will reach the ranks of sous chef, but executive chefs in the world, very little. Even less than corporate CEOs. And in, my industry, there's so few women. The statistic is even less as it pertains to female executive chefs. In fact, the number is somewhere around 23%. This was in 2006 and 19% in 2010. So that's unfortunate. It seems like the number is actually decreasing. And in female CEOs, whereas makes up about 24%. So with that, welcome, Mei.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. Well, I got to do a rundown. So, Mei, you came to LA or tune in here in an Uber because that's what you do.
Yeah, I Uber around. It's the best way to get around in LA, in my opinion. I don't have a car, so Uber works.
Does it?
Quite well.
So you get around everywhere? I know you're in Orange County yesterday. Did you take an Uber all the way to Orange County too?
No, I had a friend. We drove down together. So
Cool. Yeah. So those of you who watch this show, you'll be very jealous to know. I actually was jealous because I saw this on social media. There was actually 3 top chefs in Orange County just hanging out and talking, right?
Yeah. A lot of fun.
And I heard they went to Little Saigon, so that must have been a treat. I can imagine the people that saw you guys walk through that door.
No.
Well, I got to run through your bio real quick because I just thought it was so fascinating. So those of you, bear with me here. Those of you who've watched the show probably know some of this. But, did you know that Mei grew up working alongside her family in a family-owned restaurant in Detroit, of all places? I didn't know there were that many Chinese people in Detroit.
There aren't. There are a few suburbs. The few surrounding suburbs of Detroit have a high Asian population, but my suburb that I lived in Dearborn, was not one of them. So I was probably pretty singled out as a kid.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, that must have been fun.
No, it was fun. Being the minority is definitely
cool, right?
It's good, yeah.
Yeah, I think you need to embrace it.
Yeah.
I think there's definitely benefits to that.
I think so.
So I hear your parents put you to work.
Yes.
They had you peeling onions, cleaning vegetables.
Yeah.
Typical Chinese parents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't touch anything. Just do this prep work.
Yeah. Free labor. Let's get to work. And then
Start them young.
And so, but even though they had you work in the kitchen, I guess from what I can see here, your parents weren't too keen on you being a chef. They wanted you to be a doctor and a lawyer.
Yeah.
Well, that's a first. I've never heard of Asian parents wanting that.
Yeah, it's just like one of those things where, they don't, they're doing that job. They're working, 12 to 16 hours a day, six days a week, 7 days a week. And, they don't want that for their children. They want a better life for them. So it's like, get a better education and, go to college and do something and be successful, So, I mean, that's their reasoning. So it wasn't anything like, too crazy, but it's just traditional, really traditional parents.
Yeah, they loved you. They wanted better for you. But they started you in the kitchen. So obviously, it turned out you were a little bit talented in the kitchen. You end up doing pretty well. Because I see that, okay, but I thought that was funny. So in 2004 to 2010, she worked at Best Buy. And she moved up to customer service and checkout supervision. Okay, for any of you who have seen this show, I cannot see people in line at Best Buy coming up to Mei and saying, I got a problem with my DVD player. I would be afraid that Mei would slap me down on the cutting board and chop my head off.
What's funny is a lot of people have said that too. It's like, you don't really have the personality to be a customer service like supervisor. But no, I mean it was like a job right out of high school, it's retail. It was
You were
like,
in a blue shirt.
Yeah, blue shirt.
Did you get employee discounts?
I did.
Yeah. So that made it cool, right?
Yeah.
So that made it worth it. And then from there, I don't know how this happened, but from Best Buy, then you went and worked for Michael Simon. Where was the segue here?
Well, it was kind of like in between as well. I worked at Best Buy. I kind of went back into it just as a part-time job because you have to pay rent and working as a cook, you don't make any money. So, you kind of have to get a second job and that.
What do you mean you don't make any money? You're not even paid minimum wage?
Minimum wage, but living in a city like San Diego, you don't make any, you have to make rent and it's expensive to live there. So, yeah. Wow,
that's hard work.
Yeah.
So you're cooking for other people and then you're working Best Buy at the same time just to keep afloat.
Exactly.
So this restaurant, Michael Simon's Roast.
That was in Detroit.
That's in Detroit.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I grew up in that restaurant. And that was my first professional kitchen job.
What'd you do there?
I started out on Garde Manger, worked up.
What's that?
Garde Manger is the salad station.
Oh, very cool. That's a cool name.
Garde Manger.
Good thing they don't call it salad station.
So Garde Manger is pretty much cold line.
Oh, okay.
So you work, Garde Manger is like a station where you start off most of your entry level cooks. And so I worked that station.
You can't mess up veggies.
You can. I mean, it's Garde Manger is not an easy place to work. There's a lot of different knife cuts, so you have to know your knife skills, and it's definitely not easy. No station in the kitchen is easy, to be honest. So.
Well, we saw your knife skills on the show. You said some pretty mean skills.
Thank you.
Yeah, the girl can cut. So let's talk about that. Then you've also worked with some other really fun chefs. Sea House.
Marcus Samuelson in Chicago.
Oh, so they went to Detroit and went to Chicago, and then Wolfgang Puck.
Yeah, and in Vegas.
And then tell me about this. So you also won the 2014 Eater Young Gun winner. What does that mean? You eat really well? What's an Eater Young Gun?
Eater is an online platform for a lot of different like food media. It's really popular, but they have a contest every year. You get nominated to be an Eater Young Gun. It's pretty much like you're up and coming in the industry, and I won that last year.
Very cool. Congratulations.
Thank you.
A big deal. So let's talk about then your segue over to Top Chef. Did they come find you? Did you audition? How did that work?
I mean, it was a little bit of both. I mean, I think I got recommended to do it, and it was something that I never really wanted to do. Something that I was never really interested in. Competition, I mean, I'm really focused, and I like competing. I like doing that, but I didn't want to do it on television. So it's kind of like, should I do it? Should I not? Like, we'll see. So, I went ahead and did the audition, or I went in and went to the casting and filled out the 40-page application, and I was just like, this is 40 pages. This is, how am I going to make it through this? But, the casting it takes a long time to go through that process. So, just having the patience to go through all that, I'm like, all right, well, I went through all of this, so I guess I should just go through with it.
Did you feel like you had some sort of advantage because you were being trained by an existing Top Chef contestant?
No, I don't think so, because, every single season there's a lot of different challenges, and, there's just different things that go on. It's in a different city, and, every season's different, so you couldn't really, get prior training to going on the show or anything like that.
Right, you could watch the show and probably train yourself, because, well,
I guess.
maybe not. So let me ask you this. So, that bears the question, why cooking? You obviously were talented at many things. Your parents weren't that keen on you going into the kitchen. So what was your inspiration to cooking?
I'm not good at anything else. I don't know. I originally went into school for nursing, and halfway through, before applying to nursing school, I was just kind of like, this is not what I want to do. I'm not happy doing this. So, I kind of, I left school for a little bit, and I'm like, what do I like doing? What do I want to do for the rest of my life? And, cooking was one of those things that I really enjoyed doing and I wanted to pursue. So, I dropped out of school and went to culinary school, and that was how that happened.
So your parents must have had a cow when this happened.
I didn't tell them.
Oh, you didn't?
I didn't tell them.
So you just applied to culinary school?
I just dropped out and applied to culinary school and didn't tell them for a while.
But how did you afford culinary school?
I had to get a job.
So that's what Best Buy did?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. So, tuition reimbursement, stuff like that. They Best Buy offers a lot of great benefits for their full-time employees. So that helped me out a lot.
Thank you, Best Buy.
Thank you.
Thank
Yes.
you. That's awesome. Wow. So you in your heart, you knew this is what you wanted to do. So you did whatever you needed to do.
Yep.
So where did you go to culinary school? What state were you in at this point?
I was in Michigan. I went to culinary school at Schoolcraft College in Livonia. Mm-hmm. And it's actually one of the best culinary schools in Michigan, if not the country.
Wow.
So studied under a lot of certified master chefs. So that's pretty prestigious as well. So
Yeah. And you're a force. I saw that, when you were working, there was one restaurant, if you remind me of, you worked at a restaurant and you started as a line cook and you moved up as sous chef in 6 months' time. Mm-hmm. That's a big deal, right, in a restaurant, in a big restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool. So tell me, okay, so when you finally did tell your parents, obviously it wasn't like what Melissa King did when it came out to her parents, but when you finally did tell your parents that, hey, Mom and Dad, I'm now going to be a chef, or did you?
They actually found my knives, and they're like, what is this? I'm like, I'm just holding them for a friend. They're like, what? What do you mean you're holding knives for a friend? I'm like, all right, fine. I'm cooking. And they're like, wait, what? Like, I don't understand, like, what's happening? Like, what is this concept of you cooking? And I'm like, yeah, I'm like studying to be a chef. And they're like, all right, that's not okay. So it was kind of like a weird thing with us for a while. Yeah.
Oh, wow. At what point, they must be okay with it now, right? Mm-hmm. Right? Now,
yes.
That daughter turned out to be on TV and won.
Yeah,
I think happy.
I think for them, they just kind of, they own a Chinese restaurant, so I think they're thinking like, oh, what kind of food is she making? Like, oh, like she's making Chinese food. Like, oh, okay, that's, no, I don't want my daughter to do that. So I think, after watching the show and they saw like the type of plates that I was producing, they were kind of like, oh, that's the kind of food you're making? Like what?
It's like art.
Where did you even learn how to do that? I remember getting a call after the finale and my mom was like, that's the kind of food you were cooking? Like, where did you learn how to do that? And I'm just like, training other different people and just kind of learning different techniques and stuff like that. So she was just like, oh, had I known that, like, okay. I'm like, all right. Like,
I know. It was crazy. I didn't know if those of you who watch the show, there was one dish. I mean, every single one of the dishes to me was so much fun because it was not only unfortunately the problem with the show is we're not able to taste any of the food that you cook.
yeah.
But we get to see it. And so visually you gave us a treat because there was one of your last dishes. It was a dessert dish, right? And you made something look like dirt or something like that, or like different textures. It was incredible. Snow or something like that too. It was incredible. I mean, that certainly couldn't have been easy.
It's not, I mean, I think that challenge was challenging because, we had to make a dish inspired by a certain literature from a certain author. I thought, there's so many things that go through your head and you're like, what should I do? What should I do? What should I do? But you don't have that much time to think about it because right after the challenge is told to us, we're going to the store and we're buying stuff. So you have to have something.
So you really are running around.
Yeah, we're running around. Like the time is very, very accurate on the show. So, I was just kind of like, all right, well, he was Henry David Thoreau was very into vegetarianism. So I, decided to make a vegetarian dish. So went to the store and got every single vegetable possible and made a dish. So inspired by the book Walden.
It was a pretty awesome dish.
Yeah. It was tasty.
Have you recreated that dish since?
I haven't, no.
So, I'm excited about hearing this. So what do you do now? What are you up to?
I'm just traveling around a lot. Just doing a lot of charity dinners, a lot of food festivals. Just keeping busy. There's a lot of things going on, but there's a future project that I'm working on. So hopefully, when it comes closer, I'll be able to announce. But
yeah, it's really exciting. I mean, selfishly, I really want to taste your food, and I'm sure everybody else does too. I mean, you are one incredible force, and you're tiny.
Thank you.
I mean, I can imagine that must be an advantage in the kitchen because you're probably that much faster than everybody else too.
Kind of. It depends. Shorter legs though, so not that fast.
So let's talk about that. What was it? I guess, for someone like your personality, which I know is spunky, but also, you're not exactly the traditional, you tell me what to do and I'll just do it type of girl. So, I mean, you were put in a situation at Top Chef where you were away from your phone, you were away from civilization that knew you for several months. You did tell your parents you were going on this show, right?
No.
You didn't? They just...
No.
So how would they even know that you were alive? So you would just do your weekly call?
No, I just told them I was traveling out of the country.
You generally don't call your parents when you
No,
travel?
I call them once a week. But when I'm like traveling outside of the country, they're like, oh, okay, like that's fine. Like obviously they don't want me to spend money on making a phone call, but yeah.
Oh, I see.
That's what I told them. So
they
they're
thought
like,
you were out of the country.
All right, sure. Yeah.
What country do they think you were at?
Hong Kong.
Top Chef Hong Kong. I love this. So I guess what surprised you about being on the show?
Honestly, to be able to build relationships with all the other chefs. I think all of us came in with the same mindset that, we're here to win this competition. We're not here to make friends. So it's funny to see that tables turn really, really quick. We all have the same things in common. We all cook, and you live in the same house for weeks upon weeks. You can't help but make friends. So yeah, just building these relationships with all these different chefs, it was probably like the best experience.
A lifelong experience. Huh?
Yeah.
I know. I met up with your buddy Melissa King in San Francisco, and,
Yeah.
and she talks about you like she does, like
We're like sisters.
Blood. Yeah, absolutely. And in fact, when I'm talking to her, I can sense that she misses you. You know?
Yeah, I was like bummed that I couldn't like see her here in town this past weekend.
We're gonna convince her to fly down. Don't you worry. I'm on a
Well,
mission.
I was up there and she was down here, so that was kind of funny how that worked out.
That is funny. Well, so let's talk about your chef mentors. Who are your mentors? Who do you look up to, and for what reason?
Obviously, I worked under Michael Voltaggio for a long time, and he's definitely one of the chefs that I look up to. He's taught me a lot, in the kitchen. So
I know we saw you on the show. I mean, you had nothing but amazing things to say about him. So he must have, he definitely got a lot of love on the show.
yeah, I mean, just working for him and just seeing what kind of plates that he puts out, he's definitely an inspiring figure to me every single day. It was like, for in the competition, I obviously wanted to prove something to him that I could, win the show. But, also show him that, he taught me a lot and he's the reason why I'm winning as well,
Out of respect.
Exactly. And, another mentor of mine is Chef Eric Klein in Spago, at Spago in Las Vegas. He was actually the one who taught me how to cook, like cook properly, respect ingredients and, just have like a love for food. And he's my like culinary dad.
Aw.
Yeah.
He must love that.
Yeah.
He must know you feel this way about him too.
Exactly. Yeah.
Very cool.
We're close.
So
yeah.
you got your uncle and your dad.
Exactly. Well, older brother.
Older brothers. Sorry, Michael. Very true. Very true. So let me ask you this. So if someone were listening to you today and they say, I want to be on Top Chef and I want to win, what would you tell them? What would they need to do to win?
Just keep your head in the game and, just come into the mindset that you're there to win. You're there to work and, you'll go far in the competition. Just, cook what you know. Don't do anything too crazy. Obviously there are certain challenges where, you can step out of the box, but, definitely do what you know and do it well. Keep it simple.
That's actually a philosophy you could take on pretty much any career. But
Exactly.
do what you do what you love, and just keep focused and don't get too crazy, right? That's so true. So, let's talk about that. So you won, and you came into, I read 125,000. So that's pretty good. It's not going to change your world, but that's pretty good. So what'd you do with the money?
I actually put some of it away. Gave some to my parents. Just to help them, retire quicker, because they're still working and they're getting pretty old, and they're working to put my brother through school. So hopefully he gets done soon.
Hope he does too.
Yeah.
We saw him on the show, man. You were a little rough on him.
But that's like the nature of our relationship. And it's like, he knows, like, of course we're tight, we're older now. And it's funny because we're always going to have that type of relationship. It's like I pick on him and he's just kind of like, okay, whatever,
Well, he ended up kind of sort of pulling you through. So that was good,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So that was good. That was good. So what's next? What's next on the horizon for you?
Just trying, just working on a lot of different projects and,
Surprises.
yeah,
More
surprises.
TV? No TV.
No more TV. No more TV.
I think people will be disappointed, but I think we're going to have to get you in a tiny bit more TV.
There are a few different types of chefs. The chef who wants to be on TV, who wants to be a TV personality, the chef who wants to be in the kitchen, and a chef that's kind of the in between. I'm the one that just wants to be in the kitchen. I want to be in the kitchen. I want to put out great food for all my guests and patrons. So that's what I want to do.
Where would you ideally, if you had your choice on where to cook, where would you want to cook? What part of the country?
I think I want to stay here in LA.
Cool.
Yeah.
Family here? Oh, no, family's in
No.
Detroit still, right?
Yeah.
So what is it about LA that you like?
I think I just I started building a name for myself here. So I think I think it makes sense for me to start here
Okay.
and then expand elsewhere.
Well, then we'll have to find you a place here in LA.
Yeah.
And make some friends. And make some phone calls.
Exactly.
Favorite ingredient to cook with?
Favorite ingredient? I love fish sauce.
Okay. Have you made your own fish sauce?
I have not.
I challenge you to fish sauce challenge.
You know, that might stink up my apartment, so I'm not trying to do that. Otherwise, I would have done it a long time ago, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. That's so awesome. All right. I always ask this question, being a financial advisor. First real check. So it might be this $125,000. First real check. What was one thing you bought for yourself?
A vacation.
Sweet. Where'd you go?
I went to Japan just a few weeks ago.
Research and development.
Exactly. R&D.
Yeah, cool. Were they loving you there?
I was loving them there. I'm
didn't know you
so
were
obsessed with like the culture in Japan and you know, just the type of food that they, you know, their philosophy on food is very simple. And I respect that a lot. So I was in awe of, you know, every single thing that I ate there.
Did they recognize you in Japan?
No. I doubt it.
That's awesome. Well, thank you, Mei, for being on the show. You rock it. And
No,
we are
thank
so
you for
proud
having
of
me.
you. Oh, for sure. Anytime. And you have to come back.
Yeah,
Because
definitely.
we gotta do a few more. We can't get enough of her. But with that, thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the show as much as I did, because I'm telling you, I am May's biggest fan. I can't wait till she gets her restaurant in LA. So those of you who do have a space looking for an amazing chef, you need to call our girl, because we need to taste her food. And so with that, a huge thank you to Mei. This is Winnie's Son. Thanks for tuning in to the Renegade Millionaire Show. To learn more about me, check out winnieson.com. Follow me on Twitter, #SungroupWP, or @SungroupWP, I should say. And how can we keep in touch with you, Mei?
Twitter, Instagram, on updates.
Okay, and what are those handles, if you could give them to us?
They're both the same. It's at Mei Lin 21.
Perfect. And thanks again. Until next time, guys, talk to you soon.
Thank you.